Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Beautiful. I hope y'all can hear me. Now, you all, I'm having a little rough one today. I washed my hair and I didn't do anything with it, so I'm not showing myself today. But nonetheless, it's not going to take away from what we have in store for you all, because we're going to get into something very interesting that I just recently found out today. Shout out to the young lady that sent this to me in my Instagram. She's following Blue Pillar, and Blue Pill actually posted this in his Instagram page. Let me see who sent this to me. This was sent to me by Mrs. Murda. Shout out to Mrs. Murda for giving me this information. Y'all, I'll turn my camera on very briefly just so you can see what I look like. All right. I'm going to stop the cam. All right. But you can still hear me. So that's what's up. So let's get into it, y'all. How are all y'all out there doing today? How are you doing, you all? I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. We're going to get into the fact that they are putting vaccination, vaccination injections into the fruit and vegetables, you all. Okay. So they're saying either one way or another, you're going to get this work. You're going to get this work regardless. Okay. All the naysayers out there, all the ones that are saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Well, guess what? They got something for you. All right. So let's get into it. If you don't believe me, let me go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see this for yourselves. Okay. Just a moment, y'all. Just a moment. Here we go, y'all. It's coming up. All right, so it looks like you all can see this. I hope that you can see this right here. All right, let's get into it, y'all.
Could plant-based vaccines save the world? Scientists say rice, corn, potatoes, or lettuce can be used to produce antibodies.
It's a kind of complex process which starts by the procedure that infects them with foreign DNA, genetic material that reprograms them to stop doing everything else and just make one protein, recombinant protein, which is a medicine that we want to produce.
Biotech firms are already in clinical trials with their plant-based drugs or awaiting approval from health agencies to combat Ebola, the norovirus, and COVID-19.
I'm Ben Fazulin. This isn't just about pleasing vegans. A plant-based COVID jab would be cheaper and quicker. And instead of using hamster ovaries or monkey kidneys, you can use veggies or even tobacco.
This, you all, is insane. Did you just hear what he said? They're using the organs of animals. And if in lieu of that, they'll just inject it into the fruit and vegetables. Plant-based vaccine for COVID-19, you all. Let's make no mistake that this is not something that they just recently thought of. This was all orchestrated before it even hit YouTube, y'all. They already had the stuff planned out. There's no way you're going to tell me that they just recently came up with this idea. So basically, they're letting you know that whether you get the injection or not, you will ingest it, okay? So even if they have to put it in your food, they're literally going to shove this down your throat. Literally. It's ridiculous, y'all. I'm not going to keep this stream going too long, because I want to do further research into it, but I wanted to make people aware of it as I became abreast of this information, because I think this is so important for those of you out there who would like to grow your own gardens. Go for it. This is why many years ago, they did not want people to grow their own gardens. You remember, they were saying that you can't collect rainwater. They were flying overhead for people in people's backyards, making sure that they were not growing their own produce, you all. And even if you watch some episodes on Netflix, I think you might still be able to see some of the documentaries where they stipulate that even the farmers are not able to seed their own crops. So if they get caught trying to use their own seeds, this was like in a violation. You all, this has become an atrocity that we're facing. This is becoming a communist country. And while this is going on, there are far too many people who are basically asleep at the wheel, ready to crash into the barriers. Okay. And so when you crash and you call the ambulance, guess where they're going to take you? FEMA camps, injection sites. Okay. They're going to feed you the injections. Okay. That's exactly what they're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the next topic, you all, because it talks about vaccine shedding. And for those of you who are not familiar with vaccine shedding, I will go ahead and share that article. Vaccine shedding, you all. This is what's going on. People are not familiar with vaccine shedding, but some of you, if you've been in the household with someone who has gotten the vaccine and you have not, and you start experiencing symptoms, there's a reason for it. And we're going to dive deeper into this. I'm going to read the article for you, okay? All right, just making sure y'all can hear me. So we're going to get into what vaccine shedding is, because a lot of people are not familiar with this. All right, let me, I'm going to see if I can make my screen bigger so you all can see this for yourselves. Hopefully you can see this. Let's click on this link. And you all, if you want to read this, case study, if you want to read this article, go to globnewswire.com and just type in vaccine shedding. This article was actually published February 2nd, 2015. This was prior to the COVID-19, you all. Before this, it says, should the recently vaccinated be quarantined to prevent outbreaks? ? Washington, D.C., February 2nd, 2015, Globe Newswire. Health officials are blaming unvaccinated children for the recent measles outbreak that started at Disneyland. Now, if you're familiar with what was going on a few years ago, they were saying that if you're not vaccinated, you're the ones causing the sickness and the disease, which makes no sense. And they were pushing the measles very hot and heavy. If you recall, they were also pushing smallpox. They were pushing chicken pox. Every year they were coming out with another vaccination. Everybody knows that when you're young and you get chicken pox, when you're young, you really don't get it again because your body builds up a natural immunity to it. And it's best to get it, from my understanding, when you're very young. And as an adult, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You just itch a lot, you have spots all over you, and it's gone. It's done. Well, you all, they've come out with a vaccine for chickenpox, even though your body builds its own natural immunity to it. They feel that they have basically overstepped Mother Nature and overstepped the divine creator and said, oh, we can come up with our own way of doing this. And so we'll bypass your immune system, something that everybody has designed into them for a reason, and we'll build our own way of fighting against bacteria and viruses. And so we're just going to inject you with whatever we put inside of this vaccine, okay? And if you're not familiar with most vaccines, please do your research, okay? Please research baby fetuses. Please research rat DNA. Please research a whole lot of things that you're not aware of, because it's out there, you all. All right, but I'm going to get on with this article. All right, so, however, with no blood test proving the outbreak is from wild measles, the most likely source of the outbreak is recently vaccinated individual, according to published science. Okay, this, you all, was only 6 years ago when they said that the outbreak was caused by vaccinated individuals. Why is that? Let's read on. Scientific evidence demonstrates that individuals vaccinated with the live virus, vaccines such as MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, rotavirus, chickenpox, shingles, and influenza. Now, you all remember the flu is influenza. Since we've heard about COVID, we have not heard about influenza, which we know still exists and people die from. So could it be that when you develop sickness, and usually it occurs around this year going into the winter months, it could be a strand of influenza and they're labeling it as COVID? We already have found out last year that the hospitals are getting a kickback from putting down COVID as a diagnosis code. People were dying from heart attacks and they were putting it down as COVID. You all do some research from a year ago. Also, check out Dr. Rashid, Rashid Buttar. That's B as in Bravo, Uttar. I don't even know if his YouTube page is still up. They might have stricken it down because he was given all of the information about this situation. All right, so it says that these things can shed the virus for many weeks or months afterwards and infect the vaccinated and unvaccinated alike. Henceforth, this is why we have heard that even if you receive the COVID vaccine, you still can get it and you still can pass it. So what is the point of getting the vaccine, you all? Okay, so this just shows you this is a scientific evidence. This is what it says. Scientific evidence demonstrates that these people are shedding the virus, you all. So if you've ever been in the house with someone who has received a vaccination for COVID and you start developing symptoms, this may be the reason why. Furthermore, vaccine recipients can carry disease in the back of their throat and infect others while displaying no symptoms of a disease at all. Let me read that again. Furthermore, vaccine recipients can carry diseases in the back of their throat and infect others while displaying no symptoms of a disease at all. Numerous scientific studies indicate that children who receive a live virus vaccination can shed the disease and infect others for weeks or even months afterwards. Now, let's reverse and go back to CVID. You all are hearing that not only do you get the first vaccination, but now they want you to get a booster, and not just a booster, they want you to get another booster. So you're receiving 3 of them, and you have to wait a certain amount of weeks or a certain amount of months apart. Why is that? They just told you here in this article. Okay. And then on top of it, when you wait, the vaccine only lasts for a certain period of time, you all. It is not built to last for eternity. Okay. And that's with a lot of these vaccines that they're giving and pushing on to people. And it doesn't protect you against every single strand because they keep inventing more. This is why when you get the flu shot, you can still get the flu. Because what do the doctors tell you? Oh, well, you can still get the flu because we don't have enough vaccines to protect against that strand of the influenza. Okay? Y'all, they are playing silly games on people and trickery and falsehoods. Let's continue. Numerous scientific studies indicate that children who receive a live virus vaccine can shed the disease and infect others for weeks or even months afterwards. Thus, parents who vaccinate their children can indeed put others at risk. Now, you see this being read right off of this article here. Scientific studies indicate that children who receive a live virus vaccination can shed the disease and infect others for weeks or even months afterwards. Thus, parents who vaccinate their children can indeed put others at risk, explained Leslie Manookian, documentary filmmaker and activist. Manookian's award-winning documentary, The Greater Good, aims to open a dialogue about vaccine safety. And I would encourage those out there who are on the fence line about vaccinations, maybe you want to check out The Greater Good. And actually, I'm going to write that down because it's something that I would like to actually check out myself, The Greater Good. I'm going to see if I can locate that documentary. You all, there are all types of tricks being played with your mind. Just do a little bit of research. That's what I tell you, for your greater good. Oh boy, there was another point that I was going to make. Let me go back. Okay. If you've ever gotten sick from a child, because I have been around children, and when they get sick, it's not the same as when you get sick on your own or from another adult, you all. The sickness from a child, and what I'm talking about child, I'm talking about like in toddlerhood, is so freaking potent that it will have you knocked out. You will be down, okay? You will be down with a vengeance. It is not the same, you all, as being sick, like say another adult gets you sick. No, their sickness is so potent. Y'all, I know this because I've been sick multiple times being around the youngins, okay? And they get you extremely sick. It's not the same. And what I can't understand is how they continue to laugh, play, run around, do all the things they do with this type of sickness going on in their little bodies. And it's something that can almost blatantly damn near take out a full live adult. I don't understand it, but they got a whole different type of immune system going on in their little bodies, y'all. Let's continue with this article. Both unvaccinated and vaccinated individuals are at risk from exposure to those recently vaccinated. Let me read that again. Both unvaccinated and vaccinated individuals are at risk from exposure to those recently vaccinated. So the recently vaccinated are putting everybody at risk. That is what this one sentence just stated. These are studies that were scientifically done for vaccinated individuals, you all. Vaccine failure is widespread. Vaccine-induced immunity is not permanent. And recent outbreaks of diseases such as whooping cough, mumps, measles have occurred in fully vaccinated populations. Why am I getting loud? Why does it sound like I'm yelling? Because some people act like they don't get it. Flu vaccine recipients become more susceptible to future infection after repeated vaccinations. This is why I never subscribe to taking the flu shot, you all. And guess what? I never got the flu, even though they pushed it all at the Walgreens. Get your free flu shot. Who really knows what they were injecting into you in the first place? The last time I had the flu, y'all, I was 9 years old, living in Germany. That thing will put you down. I had a little cat. Her name was Frisky, y'all. And she stood by my side the whole entire time. Like, she laid right up under me the whole time I was sick until I felt better. When I was down, she was down. When I got up, she got up. I walked out the room, she walked out the room. She followed me everywhere. I went into the bathroom, shut the door. She lay right by the door until I come back out. That is the loyalty of pets, you all. That's the loyalty of cats. And they're more loyal than people, because people are so fickle, y'all. So anyway, let me just continue on. That's neither here nor there. Now, speaking of pets, speaking of animals, you will know, if you've been doing your research, that they said this CVID strand 19 came from a bat. Why did they say it came from a bat? Because they said the Chinese people were eating bats. Well, we know the Chinese and the Asians eat a whole lot of different things. They eat snakes. They eat everything. They eat all types of stuff. All right. So that is a delicacy for them. I'm not into that. I don't even eat meat. However, that is not what this came from. If you look back at the it was a video that I played a few days ago or last week, and it basically says that they took this sickness or this disease out of the bat. They genetically modified it and made it transmissible to human beings so that it can infect human beings and make them sick. Okay. Dr. Fauci has been accused of this for funding this lab in Wuhan, China, that causes this sickness. Why did he do this? Well, he's friends with Bill Gates, and Bill Gates is heavily funding the WHO, World Health Organization, CDC, Center for Disease Control. So if you're familiar with Instagram and you want to know why you're being blocked and censored, it is because these platforms are funded by these people, you all. Google, even this platform, and all of them that are censoring you, okay? They're all heavily tied in together. They're billionaires and millionaires, and so they're working together in each other's favor. They're making money off of you, okay? So that's why they don't want the truth out. We already know this. It says health officials should require a 2-week quarantine of all children and adults who receive vaccinations, says Sally Fallon Morrell, president of the Weston A. Price Foundation. This is the minimum amount of time required to prevent transmission of infectious diseases to the rest of the population, including individuals who have been previously vaccinated. Okay, so all of the people going out there talking about, oh, I got my shot, I received my vaccine, I did this, I did that. They feeling all good and confident, overly inflated confidence, not even understanding the magnitude of what is happening in their bodies. Shout out to Soul Energy, because she actually touched on this. If you all were able to catch her live stream where she spoke about Nicki Minaj, who also talked about the vaccination, there was a live doctor that testified and basically told people that once you receive this, you got about 3 to 5 years, because guess what happens? Your organs will start to shut down. Don't think this was by accident, you all. Okay, this was all orchestrated, and this was by design. Make no mistake about it. When I talk about the Rockefellers, when I talk about the one world government, when we talk about the fact that they have all those coffins out in Georgia, okay, what do you think that's for? All right, let's continue. Vaccine failure and failure to acknowledge that live virus vaccines can spread have resulted in an increase in outbreaks of infectious disease in both vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals, says Manukian. CDC should instruct physicians who administer vaccinations to inform their patients about the risks posed to others by those who've been recently vaccinated. But they're not doing that, are they? No, they're not. The doctors are pushing it. Why? Because they get kickbacks on pushing certain things on their patients. How do we know this? Because we have heard accounts and witnesses attest to this. Nurses that work in the doctor's office said they get kickbacks for pushing a certain prescription onto a patient that comes into their office, whether it's the best form of treatment or not. Okay? So this is what's going on with these vaccines, you all. According to the Weston A. Price Foundation, the best protection against infectious disease is a healthy immune system supported by adequate vitamin A and vitamin E. Okay? So going back to nature, this is why they are talking about putting a vaccine for the COVID-19 into your fruits and vegetables, because they already know people are trying to forego the vaccine, and they say, oh, let me just keep my immune system healthy. Isn't that what they taught you in school? Vitamin A, get your vitamin C, get your vitamin D. And now they're trying to block out the sun. They don't even want you to get that because they already know what it does for melanin. Okay. It says well-nourished children easily recover from infectious disease and rarely suffer complications, you all. Now they're talking about the measles, which is another virus. Okay. All of these are viruses, but it says the number of measles deaths declined from 757 in 1920. Okay. So that's 10,000 per year in many years in the 1910s to an average of 432 each year from 1958 to 1962. The vaccine was introduced in 1963. Between 2005 and 2014, there have been no deaths from measles in the U.S. and 108 deaths from the MMR vaccine. So you still can die from a vaccine shot, no matter what type of vaccine you take. Okay? There are always risks to a vaccine, and it is up to and including death. Whether or not you read that on the label, whether or not your doctor tells you that as they're injecting it into your children and your babies. All right, let's continue on. The Weston A. Price Foundation is a 501c3 nutrition education foundation with the mission of disseminating accurate science-based information on diet and health. Named after nutrition pioneer Weston A. Price, DDS, author of Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, the Washington, D.C.-based foundation publishes a quarterly journal for its 15,000 members, supports 600 local chapters worldwide, and hosts a yearly international conference. The foundation phone number, you all, if you're interested, is 202-363-4394. Again, it's 202-363-4394. And you can go to www.westonaprice, that's ONA Price, PRICE.org. info@westonaprice.org. Okay? Who are their references? Okay, because it gives you their sources here. Outbreak of measles among persons with a prior evidence of immunity, New York City, 2011, my apologies. Detection of measles virus RNA in urine specimens from vaccine, and it gives you the hyperlink where you can actually fact check this yourself. So unlike the censorship that you're seeing on Instagram and all these other platforms, they're actually giving you their resources on where they found their information and their experimentation information. Okay, there are many sources. They used a lot of different sources here. So, and these are all the hyperlinks that you can go to. All right. Now let's stop sharing for a second. We're going to go into our next point of contention here. Okay. We're going to talk about Ben Shapiro. Okay, because he does not agree with what's going on with these mandated vaccines whatsoever. Now, I'm going to try to share my screen so you can see this. Share screen. Here we go, you all. And let's get into it. All right.
Morning after the president's speech last night at 5, a lot of American businesses are trying to figure out, okay, I've got more than 100 employees. What am I going to do? Am I going to require the vaccine?
Let me cut out that echo. Hold on. We don't want the echo. So let me do this again. All right, let's see if this helps. Let's see if this helps y'all.
Let's talk to one business guy. Ben Shapiro is the host of The Ben Shapiro Show. He's also the editor emeritus of the Daily Wire. Ben, your company's got over 100 employees, so what are you going to do? Are you going to listen to the president? Everybody going to roll up their sleeves, or are you going to take a different approach?
Of course not. We're going to use every method and resource at our disposal to defy the president's unconstitutional order. And this is coming from somebody who's very pro-vaccine. I was vaccinated as soon as possible. I've encouraged everybody to get the vaccine, or pretty much everybody to get the vaccine. And the notion that the federal government has the ability to force every business in America with over 100 employees, by the way, I'm not sure why it's over 100 employees. Theoretically, it should be every business in America, otherwise you get infected anywhere, right? But every business in America with over 100 employees to either force its employees to vaccinate or force them to test every week or fire them, presumably.
All right. So you just heard him say that it's unconstitutional. Okay, so he's not in favor of this, even though he was the one pushing this. He was actually the one that said that he agreed with it, and he's even been vaccinated. And even after being vaccinated, he no longer agrees with it, you all. So let's continue to hear what he has to say next. And I do apologize for the echo, you all. I'll try to figure out a way to take that out. Let me see if I can stop the echo. My apologies on that. Let's see. Stop the screen for a second. And there's probably a little feature that I'm missing that's causing this echo. And I'm still getting acclimated, you all, with going live. So my apologies. Let's see if this helps.
He said he came into office saying, I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm not going to shut down the country. I'm going to shut down the virus. He failed to shut down the virus. So now he's going to shut down the economy and the country, apparently.
Well, Ben, they say that he says, Joe Biden, businesses who refuse will be fined $14,000 per violation. Your CEO said that you will use legal action to resist in a tweet. Are you prepared for this?
We are. I mean, we are staffing up right now on the legal side. We are already getting any lawsuit ready that needs to be gotten ready. We have to see.
Oh, wow. So everybody, this is why you're getting this heavy pushback if you're working for an employer, because apparently they're going to be fined $14,000. And you know how these companies are. They could care less about you. They care all about the dollar, because America is a corporation. And that's what it was founded upon. They don't care about your health. They don't care if you die. You're just another number. They'll get another one of you. You're a robot. You're a machine. You're a computer. You're replaceable. That's how they look at you. So I'm telling you to take your own life into your own hands. Take the future lives of your children into your own hands and do some digging, do some research. Because this man right here is telling you that he even got vaccinated and he's against the vaccine. There's a reason for this. Y'all better pay attention.
The actual regulations, the details of that lawsuit. What we can tell you is that the provisions that Joe Biden is going to be citing under OSHA are wildly overbroad. And frankly, I think that he's made a huge tactical legal blunder here. I think there's every possibility that something like this goes to the Supreme Court level, and suddenly we see a complete rewriting of the administrative state because Joe Biden couldn't get his act in order. And so he decided to issue a tyrannical and authoritarian order here.
Also,
my sentiments exactly. It's tyrannical. We are leading. This country is going into a communist country, you all. They are mirroring the likes of China, they are trying to censor your communication, much like in China. You know, over there, they are censored as to what they can even listen to on the radio. Some of them can't even listen to music. They're not even able to basically say that they dislike their president. They're not able to say that. You do understand that, right? Or do you not understand it? Maybe some of you don't. But a lot of people are too busy worried about celebrities, worried about basketball games, worried about football games, which you all know that are already heavily rigged. I hope you know that, because it's all politics. So these are all the games that they orchestrate for you so that you are basically distracted, because you're like a baby that needs a pacifier. So you know how you take your children and put them in front of the TV screen and let them watch cartoons because some people don't want to parent, or they take their children and put them in front of a video game because they don't want to parent. Well, it's much like grown adults that are children. We're going to come up with all of these reality TV shows, basketball games, football games, soccer, hockey. They got every type of sport you can imagine. Whatever you're into, they have something for you. Gadgets, technology, because people get so excited about these new iPhones, even though they only change a few little designs, a few little features, and then they still charge you all the extra money for it, and people fall for it. So now you're financing phones, which is crazy. It's ridiculous. People too worried about stuff like that than stuff that's really important, that's going to affect their whole entire lives, their health. People are dying out here, and people don't seem like they care.
You had an interesting tweet, which is getting a lot of news, when you said maybe if we tell Joe Biden that the Taliban isn't vaccinated, he'll get just as mad at them. Does it astound you in all seriousness that his anger is focused on the unvaccinated in America, as small a percentage as that is, and not on the terrorist regime that has taken over a country and the embarrassment that he's caused our nation?
We're not even a year into this presidency, and this is a failed president on every level. And so he's attempting to redirect all of the ire at his presidency at your fellow Americans. You're supposed to be angry at your neighbor for unvaccinating if you're vaccinated, even though Joe Biden himself yesterday said that your unvaccinated neighbor effectively poses no threat to you. Instead, Joe Biden wants you to be angry at that neighbor as opposed to him.
Now, I'm going to stop it right there, because out of Joe Biden's mouth, you just heard Ben Shapiro quote him, and he said, your unvaccinated neighbor poses no threat to you. So again, I'm going to tell you to reference Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. You all please go to Amazon.com. You can get a digital copy of it. And actually, one day I might actually come on here and review that book with you, because I do have a digitalized copy saved on my tablet from a few years ago, back in 2017 when I first obtained it. And he talks about the divisiveness of America, of the world, actually, in its entirety. These are the games that people play to keep you divisive, keep you divided among race, okay? Because the thing about racism is we know it exists, but they also play upon your emotional heartstrings when it comes to race as well. And this is done deliberately, you all. And we can actually explore that topic as well. They also play against socioeconomic status. So people that have a certain amount of money versus people who don't have that much money. People want to feel like they're in the upper echelon. People want to feel like they are in the higher class because of their money versus someone that does not earn the same amount of income. That's another way that they push people against one another. Okay. You see that just going from neighborhood to neighborhood. There are so many different ways that they play divisiveness among people. But I'm telling you, if there was a real biochemical warfare against the entire humanity, you would understand and learn how to join forces. Okay, because your lives depend upon it. Not trying to find a way to separate yourself from someone else because, oh, you got the vaccine. Oh, you didn't get the vaccine. So you stay over there. You can't come in our restaurants. You can't come in the store. Well, if it has to be all of that, let the restaurants lose out on their money. Let the stores lose out on their money and see what happens. Because I'm pretty sure, you all, that once they start losing enough money, they will change their tune. Right now, they are so arrogant and cocky to the point where I saw at the bar when I went somewhere, I saw them say, you must a face mask is required. Don't like it too bad. You can leave. It was something to that effect. Luckily, I was not a patron of that particular place. I only went in there to use the restroom. But if a person or if a facility or an establishment takes on that type of attitude, I don't even think they're worth doing business with, nor do I feel they are worth me giving them my money. You all, you have the power. Y'all have more power. You all have more power than what you even realize and what you know, and you're not utilizing it. These rappers, these entertainers, these actresses, these actors, these politicians, do not have all the power that you accredit to them. You give your power away. You allow them to make them think that they're more powerful than what they are. Stop feeding a lot of these entertainers your attention because they're not advocating for you. When they tell you to go get vaccinated, do you think they're telling you that because they really care about your health? No, they're telling you that because they're getting paid to tell you that. If they care so much about your health, they would have been trying to get you some healthcare insurance. They would have been advocating for that. You know, in Canada, all of them have healthcare, but in America, oh, it has to be all of these different issues on why you can get affordable coverage, why you can't. Be very careful when the government gives you anything for free. Free public schools. Why was that even designed? Because the Rockefellers implemented that whole system, because the Rockefellers wanted you to send your children to school for 8 hours a day and make you think that it takes your child 8 hours to learn the simple things that they teach. How many of you can remember all of the stuff you learned from school? How many of you even use half the stuff that they talked about? Most people in this America don't even use half of their brains. Half of their brain cells, to be honest. And psychologically, psychology would tell you you don't even use 10% of your brain because you don't know how to use your brain because you've been trained for someone else to show you how to think, tell you what to think, and tell you how you should feel. It is called social engineering, you all. And you remember there was a lawsuit that was formulated against Google, the Obamas, the Clintons, China, on behalf of the world's people, you all. And it also talked about cybergenetics. It talked about social engineering. There were so many different charges that were filed. I guess nobody cared. I guess people were too concerned about, I don't know, rap battles on Instagram and on YouTube. But do you really think that Timberland, do you really think that all of them, I mean Swiss Beats, you really think they care about you like that? Because if something happens to your family, where are they going to be? Can you call up Swiss Beats and tell him to give you money for burial and funeral arrangements? I mean, I'm just saying. So anyway, let's continue on, y'all. So we talked about the plant-based vaccines that they're trying to get implemented into your food. We talked about the vaccine shedding. Let's talk about the Delta strand, you all, because my mama told me about this. I didn't even know this was actually, no. There's another new strain of COVID, okay? And it's not the Delta strain. But since we're on that topic, let's see what the Delta strain consists of, y'all. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And we'll get into that. All right. So Delta strain. This is what they want you to know. Okay, this is what they say it is. 5 things to know about the Delta variant. I'm pretty sure this is going to be very interesting, y'all. How dangerous is the Delta variant? This was published July 30th, 2021. Let's see what it says. Okay, how contagious is it? It says 40 to 60% more transmissible than alpha. So you see they're going down the wavelengths. Alpha, delta. What is the next one? Theta. They're going to have gamma. Y'all, they're playing games with y'all. And I tried to look at what delta means, and we need to see what alpha, we know what alpha male means, so we need to see what alpha actually means. So they're saying it's 40 to 60% more transmissible than the alpha. I didn't even know the first one was called alpha. And almost twice as transmissible as the original Wuhan strain of SARS-CoV-2. Furthermore, significantly more viral particles have been found in the airways of patients infected with the Delta variant. A Chinese study reported that viral loads, I'm receiving text messages. Viral loads in Delta infections were 1,000 times higher than those in infections caused by other variants. In response to this information, oh God, here goes the World Health Organization. Y'all be careful when you see anything that comes from the WHO and the CDC. Just be very vigilant. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because if I say too much, they're going to be ready to do some stuff if I don't say the right thing. Is the Delta variant more dangerous than other variants? Oh, gosh. It says the Delta to more serious symptoms, including hearing impairment, y'all. Oh, look, here's some new symptoms for y'all. Fever, headache, sore throat, runny nose are all common, while cough and loss of smell are not. You know what? When you get sickness and when you get the flu, guess what? These are all the signs and symptoms of a flu. All right, including hearing impairment, severe gastrointestinal issues, and blood clots, leading to tissue death and gangrene, y'all. This is crazy. Research is ongoing to determine if Delta infection is associated with increased hospitalization and death. One early study assessing the risk of hospital admission in Scotland reported that hospitalization is twice as likely in unvaccinated individuals with Delta than in unvaccinated individuals with Alpha. Y'all, they are a hot mess. I don't trust all these numbers and all of this stuff they're throwing out here. So let's look into what the new strain is called, because it's not the Delta. Let me see what the new strain is. Because they have another one, y'all. They're just inventing all strains of it. New strain of COVID. Coviana. Okay, that's what we're gonna call it, because we have to have code names around here. Okay, what is the new variant? What is it called, y'all? Because I don't even know if they came up with a name for it yet. How many strains are there? That's what I want to know. So let's share the screen and see if we can find out. Let's share the screen, y'all. We in this together. New variants of Corona. I don't even see the name for the new one, the new strain. Okay, so they said it's a new strain that they saw. It came out in Italy, y'all. I'm sorry, in India. Let's see if they can tell us any more about it. I'm seeing, let's see. Is there anything? I'm about to freaking put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Oh my God, it's so annoying. I'm sorry, y'all. Symptoms of the new, okay, let's look at this. So I don't even know if they've given it a name yet. And as you can see, she's supposed to be from the Middle East and she has it. Or she's trying to protect herself from it. It says a recent study, all these studies are going on, y'all, done by the Office for National Statistics, also observed that people with new mutations develop symptoms faster. We decode the different symptoms to watch out for. Y'all, they are a hot mess. Fever, They all sound similar. Cough, shortness of breath, muscle and joint pain. Okay, and that's what they have. Sounds very similar to a lot of other stuff, to be honest. You can get headaches. Yeah, you can get everything if you got the corona. Which vaccine is effective against Delta variant symptoms for vaccinated people? It's the reason. Why are they naming this stuff Delta? So I don't know the name of the new one, but if you go out there, you might see it. I don't know the name of it. What is the meaning of Delta, y'all? Because there's a reason they named it Delta. The fourth letter of the Greek alphabet, variation of a variable of a function, a finite increment. This has to do with, I think it's something Masonic. I really do. You know, you can actually pledge Delta, Kappa, all that stuff. So I really feel that, you know, they're playing, it's almost like a ritual that's being done on the world's population, y'all. Now, what does alpha mean? What is the meaning of alpha? The first letter of the Greek alphabet, transliterated as a code word representing the letter A used in radio communication, a plane angular acceleration. What does alpha mean? A dominant person or their behavior, socially aggressive, hypermasculine men. Okay. Dude bros see alpha as a compliment and aspiration. Structure of an organic molecule to a particular group or atom, symbol or substitution. Yeah, there's a bunch of trickery going on with a lot of this stuff, y'all. So just be very vigilant. That is my advice to you. Stay abreast with the information, you all. I'm not going to drag this stream out much longer. However, I did want to come on and just, you know, share this information with you all, let you know that they are trying to inject your foods, your fruit, your produce, your vegetables. So you might want to go ahead and start growing your gardens. And you know what I would recommend is going to like one of those ethnic food stores if you can, and getting you know, some, because I got jackfruit. If you're not familiar with jackfruit, you all, that is a good source of protein. You can also use it in substitute of meat for sandwiches, put it in tacos if you don't eat beef, because I do not eat beef. No, I no longer eat meat. I only eat fish and maybe some seafood on occasion. But yeah, start taking your fruit out of your live vegetables. I think you can still get seeds out of your apples. Right now, it's really hard to find seedless grapes. Start saving your seeds from your food and start setting that aside and start growing your vegetation, you all, because it's getting to the point where they're weaponizing the food, and they've been doing that. They've been weaponizing the water, you all. And as a matter of fact, if you have been going out to the store, stock up on your water, because water is starting to become as a scarcity now. Or scarcity. I have been out there, and certain types of water I cannot even find in the stores that usually are very, abundant. And so that's another thing that's going on. So you all, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I want to say shout out to you all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Shout out to all my melanated queens, all my melanated kings. Maybe I should come on camera to say this part because it's more personable. So let me start the camera. All right. I'm going to say shout out to all you who have been watching. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Shout out to all my melanated queens, melanated kings, all my princesses and my princes out there, and all the true warriors. Thank you so much for protecting these queens Everyone continue to walk in your divinity. Stay well. Stay very much abreast with the information. And until next time, brown girls and my beauty queens, you all stay winning. Hashtag celebrate yourself. And what else did I want to say? Haben Sie alles eine gute Nacht. Okay, everybody, I want you to have a good night. That's the way you say it auf Deutsch or in German. And we're going to close off with one of my advertisements, you all. Auf Wiedersehen, okay? Goodbye.
Get into it. Okay, get into it. Enjoy nature, y'all. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like water. It's nothing like beautiful waterfalls. It's nothing like